what keeps them up at night, and how we can take their business and move it up to the next level instead of it just being the same old every single year. Let's help others be successful. And I guarantee you watch your own business become more successful than you've ever thought it ever could be.
Welcome to Be Bold Branding, where we discuss the power of differentiating yourself through your own unique story and standout personal brand. If you're like many business owners and entrepreneurs, your business is a part of your deeper calling. But how do you follow that path seamlessly and with great purpose? Today's guests are Kraig and Desiree Bougher, and they have done exactly that. They're here to share their journey and mission to inspire other Christian business leaders like themselves to take their faith actively into the marketplace.
Welcome to Be Bold Branding.
Hey, it's great to be here, guys. We're excited to be on.
Let's just dive right into it. You want to talk to us about the beginning of your first business, Extreme Recognition, and how did you get started in that business? Maybe what led to that, and then we'll move on to where you are now.
Yeah, gosh, that seems like forever ago. Back in '91, I started off in the recognition. All I did was recognition programs, recognition like years of service. Safety award programs, sales award programs. And basically what I did is I started off with a company called Jostens. You remember the class ring company? Well, at the time they had a recognition division. And so I was with them for a few years before we decided that I didn't like the direction that it was going, because it was basically a jewelry company. And that's really all that they had for the awards was jewelry. There was none of these lifestyle type of items, more of the gift items that people really wanted anyway. And, most of everything that we did back in the day was, you remember the old lapel pins, those big, overpriced lapel pins. And after a while, nobody wanted those. You'd get it. You'd spend all kinds of money on it. You'd put it in your top drawer, never see it again. So I broke away from there, and it wasn't really it was just a short period of time later, I ran into a client that wanted to do promotional products. They asked me, they go, well, they have me in charge of the company picnic because they're calling it an employee benefit. And she says, I don't know what I'm doing. Can you help me? Well, again, I'm just a salesperson, right? So what do I say? Absolutely, I can help you. I had no idea what I was doing. And that's when I brought her into the picture, and I said, can we figure this out? They want Frisbees. They want T-shirts and all kinds of stuff for this company picnic. And she figured it out. And here we are years later. We've got the promotional products, as well as we're still doing a lot of recognition programs, incentive programs. So you can go into a company and there's a lot you can do within those individual, companies. So really, that's kind of how we got our start in Extreme Recognition. Man, it kind of goes back there, doesn't it?
27-ish years.
Yeah.
28.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that feels like my old radio days go back that far. Yeah. So I understand that. So was there a specific moment in time or a turning point that led you guys toward the path of helping Christian business owners, which is a lot of what you guys do today?
COVID. It was during COVID.
Yeah.
And it was, I always tell people it's kind of the same story, but it was right during that. I looked at what I was doing, and, we're business owners, and I'm a former Marine. And I just didn't feel I was really doing anything. I was just kind of in a survival mode, just, making sure everything's running with the company and just kind of keeping things going that direction. And I looked at my pastor, and this guy is one of those pastors that he doesn't care what you think. He's going to say it exactly.
He's bold.
He's very bold. And I looked at him, and I looked at another pastor friend of ours, and I just thought, I've got to do more. I'm doing nothing, and I love the Lord. I call myself a believer, but I just didn't think I was doing anything. I remember picking up the Word of God one time, and I just said, I'm either going to believe this from start to finish, or I'm just done with it. And of course, I know I chose the truth and chose the right way. But at the same time, I had to do something, and all I could hear his voice saying was, bring them together. And so we decided to do a conference. And again, I looked at where we were at, and it's all about leadership. And it still is today, obviously. And I just looked at where we were at that time. And to me, all I could think of, it's a lack of leadership. And how can we change that? And I still believe this true today. I think the best potential leaders that we have in the world today happen to be those people that are the Christian business owners, at least the people with that mindset. I believe if we can change them, then we can change a culture. If we can change a culture, we can change a city. We change a city, we can change a nation.
A friend of his from Nashville said, a lot of people talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. And so he do it, and he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So he did.
Exactly.
So, we did. And I think the first year was 60, 70 people. And really after that, or even kind of during that, I just thought maybe it's just a one and done, let's rile up the troops and get everyone kind of focused on going to the next level. And here we are organizing year number 4, which is going to be May 16th and 17th of this coming year. And there's so many things that have happened, so many God moments, so many God things. And after that first conference, people would come up to us afterwards and told us, you guys have to do this. You have to keep this going. And there was so many confirmations. And it was just, I don't know, it was just one thing after another. And so now you look back at what we're doing with the Ignite Christian Business, and now we've got groups that are meeting every single week through a partnership program. We've got another program that's going to be kicking off here within the next month. That's more of a mastermind group, but we've got every month, the second Tuesday of each month is the community call that we do, that you guys are going to be our special guest in December. So we're looking forward to that. But actually it's getting people. I always say, let's take good leaders and make them great leaders. And let's get these Christian business owners, these entrepreneurs, or people that are thinking about taking that step and starting a business. Let's get them the tools. Let's help them to be successful. And because the more that we can do that, I just strongly believe we can make other people successful. And isn't that what leadership's supposed to be? I mean, it's like, I think we've lost that, and we think of a title. We get this big title and we think that's leadership, and it has nothing to do with leadership at all. Who are we bringing along with us? Who are we helping along the way? And I just think we've lost that leadership touch and what leadership really is all about. And I think that's kind of the heart of the Ignite Christian Business is just to bring that back. Let's help each other. Let's get people. How many times do we talk to people and they're going to start a business? Oh, I feel it in my heart. I'm going to start this business. And you talk to them 2 years later and they're still talking about starting this business. And it's like, dude, wait, let's go.
Oh, yeah.
But we were talking about this 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Like what you're hearing? Hit that subscribe button and learn how you can change how you're seen and charge what you're worth. Desiree, I'd love to know, what were your thoughts when he first came to you and said, I think we should be doing this?
I probably was more like, what? I'm a busy enough person. run the business, and I spend a lot more hours in the office and than he does. His is more phone sales and mine is more admin and on, in front of a computer. So all I thought was, how are we going to make this happen? How are we going to, fit it in? Because we're busy people.
Let's talk about this as it affects Ignite, right? So clearly, your leadership instruction is Bible-based, which is, in my opinion, the very best place to go, obviously, for very practical reasons. Most people, I think, miss that. And you can get lost into spirituality. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but let's use it as a manual actually for how business should be done. Is that sort of the crux of Ignite, and not just the networking, but the leadership development based on those biblical truths?
Absolutely. And in fact, the call that I have in the morning with the ladies that I meet with Tuesday mornings at 6, we check in with one another. How you doing? And then it's iron sharpening iron, and looking at it from the biblical perspective first. And then as long as that's the foundation, and there's always even a networking and a connecting in that. So
I think as believers, I think as the Christian business owners, I think so many times we don't know how to do things. We don't know how to do it the right way. And even networking, you talk about networking, and it's like so many people don't know how to network. I mean, they're almost like, okay, if the Lord wants me to speak to that person, they're gonna walk over here and just talk, or my phone's
It's gonna be a sign.
They're gonna do it for me.
It's like, Lord on earth, I don't think that's the way it's supposed to work. I mean, He's kind of given us the steps. I think we have allowed ourselves to have these mindsets where we can only go so far, and again, I think still today there's that big poverty mindset, that we have, and maybe it's part of it from our upbringing, or it's just thinking that
the news.
What's that?
Or the news.
Yeah.
Like paying attention to the news. Yeah. There's never enough to go around. It's always terrible. And I just find that's not the case on the street. Another attack, that I firmly believe that we battle is that constant propaganda that things are terrible, when as believers, we know God is in control and He has that life more abundant for us. And so it's another stealer of our, of our true purpose, which we believe at BrandFace, that if you find that true purpose and you stick and adhere to that, when we were on y'all's show, I remember Desiree said, train them up in the way they should go, was a word that came out, a sense that came out. And I thought about that and how important that is, because really and truly, if people can tap into that, God has created every one of us for a specific purpose and reason inside of the overall collective. And when we don't adhere to that, we're not holding up our portion of the tapestry, if that makes sense. And that's the way I process it in my mind. And I've got to get my own life in order as much as possible to be able to be that right, to fulfill my portion of the tapestry, which, of course, as a business owner, I see as, like you said, Desiree, full on abundance. Like you can't quantify money in the world. There's more of it than Jeff Bezos can't quantify. Right. And so, but we have to be trying to stick to that we're made to do. And I think if I'm getting it right, Ignite is here to help those leaders get to that point in your life and start cleaning up some of these blinders that life and circumstances and the news and the bad news and the constant whisperer, in the evil inclination is what the ancient sages called it, that steals from that opportunity and thus robs everybody you could be helping. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's what I'm hearing about Ignite.
Absolutely. And it's aligning yourself with other like-minded people. I've got one of the person in one of the groups that I'm helping start, and he's 17. Is he 17? He's 17. And we actually have a younger younger entrepreneurs that's going to be starting, but they're
He's not a normal 17-year-old.
he's not a normal
17-year-old in
Yeah.
a 17-year-old body.
and he's so hungry. He's so hungry for more. And what was it he said about hanging out with?
I asked him just last week, I said, what do you think of it? Tell me your thoughts. And I said, just, questioning him about it. And he says, I love it. He says, you become who you hang out with. And so he's learning at 17. Majority of people are maybe 50 to 65.
Yeah,
Here he wants to hang out until his group starts, just because he wants to, hang out with, business leaders that are going to help him take off. And it's like, that's what it is. That's what Ignite is. And let's get ourselves around that. And let's find out what these people are all about. Let's find out what keeps them up at night, and how we can take their business and move it up to the next level, instead of it just being the same old every single year. Let's help others be successful. And I guarantee you watch your own business become more successful than you've ever thought it ever could be.
But
It absolutely works that way.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
When you do the right thing, it always comes back to you. That's a biblical principle that goes back to the beginning. It always comes back to you. And I find that's true in business. It's true in life, because business is part of life, and it is part of life that brings more abundance to us to then turn around and hand to others. So I love your message, guys. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And I wish we had more time with you here today, but so we may do this again sometime soon. But here's a question for you guys. If we ask all our guests this question, if our listeners have the freedom to visit anywhere in the world, which place would you recommend and why?
Mine's probably easy, Canada, because my family's all up there.
Tell the audience how they can connect with you and learn more about what you and Ignite can do for them.
Yeah, go to ignite-cb.com. and you'll find how to get engaged with some of the things that we've got going out there, and get yourself in one of those accountability groups. You can also, on Extreme Recognition, just go to xrgifts.com, and you can find out more information on Extreme Recognition.
Ready to change how you're seen and charge what you're worth? If you're not getting enough opportunities to meet with ideal customers, or the prospects you're meeting with just aren't ideal, it's most likely your brand that's holding you back. So if you're a coach, consultant, or expert who is on the rise, you need our ultimate guide to a freedom-based brand. Download it free now at BrandFaceGuide.com.